Okay. You don't have one of those verse books, do you?
I have a verse book. Maybe get one.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll get it.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. It's one like 35 years.
Oh, good, got a lot of use out of that.
It's a real treasure. Okay.
Do we chant the shloka normal, right?
So it's like Om Namo Bhagavate
Yeah.
Vasudevaya.
Yeah, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 6, text number 36, right? 37.
I
37.
think we're on there. 37,
37.
36, 37.
Chapter entitled Creation of a Universal Form. Ekantala Vachaso Nu Pumsang. They do word for word.
Ekantalapam Vachaso Nu Pumsam.
Ekantala Vachaso Nu Pumsang.
Ekantalabam Vachaso Nupumsam.
Ekantala Vachaso Nu Pumsang.
Ekantalapam Vachaso Nu Pumsam.
Shloka Maler Gunavadam Ahu.
Sushlokamala Gunavadamahu.
Shloka Maler Gunavadam Ahu.
Sushlokamala Gunavadamahu.
Shloka Maler Gunavadam Ahu.
Sushlokamala Gunavadamahu.
Taste Vidvad Beer Upakritayam.
Shutescha Vivavir.
Shutescha Vidvad Beer Upakritayam.
Shutescha Vidvade Vakitayam.
Shutescha Vidvad Beer Upakritayam.
Shutescha Vidvade Vakitayam.
Tasudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Katha Sudayam Upasam
Prayogam.
Tasudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Katha Sudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Tasudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Katha Sudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Kantalabam Vachaso Napungsam.
Ekantalabam Vachaso Napumsam.
Lokamalir Guna Padamahu.
Shlokamale Gunavadamahu.
Tescha Vidvad Virupakitayam.
Shutescha Vidvade Vakitayam.
Tasudhayam Upasam Prayogam.
Katha Sudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Kantalabam Vachaso Napungsam.
Ekantalabam Vachaso Napumsam.
Lokamalir Gunavadamahu.
Shlokamale Gunavadamahu.
Tescha Vidvad Virupakitayam.
Shutescha Vivavir Vakitayam.
Tasudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Katha Sudayam Upasam Prayogam.
Please.
Ekantalapam Vachaso Nupumsam.
Ekantalabam Vachaso Napumsam.
Suslokamole Gunavadamahu. Suteshcha Vipad Upakitayam. Tasudayam Upasamprayogam.
Ekantalabham vachaso na pumsam
Ekantalabham vachaso nupumsam.
Sushlokamole gunavadamahu
Suslokamole Gunavadamahu.
Shutesha vidvadhyupakatriyam Katha sudhayam upasamprayogam
Tasudayam Upasamprayogam.
Kantalabam vachaso nupumsam
Ekantalabham vachaso nupumsam.
Lokamole gunavadamahu
Suslokamole Gunavadamahu.
Desha vidvahi upakritayam
Suteshcha Vipad
Tasudayam upasam prayogam
Tasudayam Upasamprayogam.
Anyone else?
Anyone online would like to chant the verse?
Okay, word for word. Eka anta,
Eka Anta,
the one which has no comparison.
the one which has no comparison.
Bhavam,
Labham,
gain.
gain.
Vachasa,
Vachasa,
by discussions.
by discussions.
Nupungsam,
Nupumsam,
after the Supreme Person.
after the Supreme Person.
Susloka,
Sushloka,
pious.
pious.
Male,
Mole,
activities.
activities.
Gunavadam,
Gunavadam,
glorification.
glorification.
Ahu,
Ahu,
it is so said.
it is so said.
Shrute,
Shrute,
of the ear.
of the ear.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Vidvadi,
Vivadi,
by the learned.
by the learned.
Pakritayam,
Upakritayam,
being so edited.
being so edited.
Katasudayam,
Tasudayam,
in the nectar of such a transcendental message.
in the nectar of such a transcendental message.
Upasam prayogam,
Upasamprayogam,
serves the real purpose.
the real purpose.
Being nearer to.
being near to.
Translation report by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The highest perfection or gain of humanity is to engage in discussions of the activities and glories of the pious actor. Such activities are so nicely arranged in writing by the greatly learned sages that the actual purpose of the ear is served just by being near them. Please repeat. The highest perfection of gain of humanity is to engage in discussions of the activities and glories of the pious actor. Such activities are so nicely arranged in writing by the greatly learned sages that the actual purpose of the ear is served just by being near to them. Purport. The impersonalists are very much afraid of hearing the activities of the Lord because they think that the happiness derived from the transcendental situation of Brahman is the ultimate goal of life. They think that anyone's activity, even that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is mundane. But the idea of happiness indicated in this verse is different because it relates to the activities of the Supreme Personality, who has transcendental qualities. The word gunavadam is significant because the qualities of the Lord and his activities in the pastimes are the subject matter for the discussions of devotees. A rishi like Maitreya is certainly not interested in discussing anything pertaining to mundane qualities. Yet he says that the highest perfectional stage of transcendental realization is to discuss the Lord's activities. Srila Jiva Goswami therefore concludes that topics regarding the transcendental activities of the Lord are far beyond the transcendental realization of Kaivalya happiness. These transcendental activities of the Lord are so arranged in writing by the great sages that simply by hearing of those narrations, one becomes perfectly self-realized. And the proper use of the ear and the tongue is also achieved. Srimad-Bhagavatam is one of such great literatures, and the highest perfectional state of life is attained simply by hearing and reciting its contents. Right. Ekanta labam vachaso napumsam shushlo kamalera gunavadamahu shrutesh chadidvadbir upakritayam kata sudayam upasam prayogam. Om Jnana Tamanandascha Janandana Savakaya Chakshuranikanena Tasmat Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So continuing narration Maitreya and Vidur's discussion, right? Turning the door, it's a wonderful dialogue going on. And we have the fortune to be able to take advantage of these literatures given to us by most merciful Srila Prabhupada, who came, we know his story, how he came single-handedly, only depending fully on the Lord's mercy to come and bring us this knowledge. He came pretty much penniless, right? Just he had a few rupees in his pocket, which couldn't even be exchanged for money here in the US. Even today, I don't think you can take rupees and exchange them. So he came, but he had many sets of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Trunks, we know how hard it is to travel, suitcases, right? But Srila Prabhupada brought, forgot how many sets. Maybe 100 sets,
100 sets or something.
100 sets,
Something.
yeah. 100 of sets, 3 volumes of Srimad-Bhagavatam. And he sold the captain, right? So, yeah. Pardon?
Captain Pandya.
Captain Pandya, right? He sold him one of the first sets of books. And he was going in New York and going to different booksellers and stores and distributing the books. I'm not sure if we've all seen that picture in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. It's in the age of Kali, it shows all darkness around, and then Srila Vyasadev's holding up the Bhagavatam to this is the incarnation of Krishna. That verse, they were asking what's happening in Kali Yuga, right? Now that the Lord is departed, and the answer was the Srimad-Bhagavatam has come, and there's Bhagavad Gita. But the secret is, as Krishna tells Arjuna, I'm explaining this because you're my devotee. Only devotees can understand this transcendental literature. You have to hear through the disciplic succession. That's the one verse. It says, Sampradaya Vihinaye Mantraste Nispala Mataha. If you don't receive the knowledge in disciplic succession, there'll be no potency, right? There'll be no potency. So you have to see, just like it says, so many editions of Bhagavad Gita were there prior to Srila Prabhupada coming to the West, but there was no devotees practically made. You know, so many editions, hundreds of different editions. But then once Srila Prabhupada came, that's what it says. What is that? Dharmastya tattvam niyatam guhayam mahajanayena katasapanta. The secret, it's locked up in the heart of the pure devotees. The real secret in the Shakti. So Srila Prabhupada came and gave us the literatures, the bona fide literatures. And just look what's happened. A revolution has come. Prabhupada ignited Sankirtan movement all over the world. Mahaprabhu and all the great acharyas stayed within India, stayed within Varsha. And Srila Prabhupada was the one who was also predicted. Pritiviti ati yacha nagaradigram sarvacha prachara horde horanam. Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that my names will be spread all over the world to every town and village. And it's obvious that A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is a great acharya who came and did it. And so many different verses come to mind when reading this translation and purport. And there's let me see if I can find it real quick. One by Prabodhananda Saraswati, I think it is. Let's see. It's a really wonderful verse. Prabhupada quotes it often. There it is. So much meaning in all these different wonderful verses of the acharyas. There it is. It's from Prabodhananda Saraswati from Chaitanya Chandramrita. Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridasapur Akasha Pushpayate Durdantendriya Kalasarpa Patali Prokata Dangstrayate Vishwampuram Sukayate Vidi Mahindradis Cha Katayate Yat Karuna Kataksha Vai Bhavavatam Tam Goram Evaskama. Like Prabhupada says here in the purport that the Mayavadis, they're afraid of hearing the activities of the Lord. And they think the happiness of Brahman realization is the ultimate. But here, Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Kaivalyam Narakayate, impersonal liberation, Kaivalyam Narakayate, becomes like hell. It says, let us glorify Lord Gaurasundar, for if one attains his merciful sidelong glance, the impersonal liberation of merging into the splendor of God becomes as palatable as going to hell. So, and this is a Mayavadi's ultimate goal. The Vaishnavas consider, oh, this is hellish. Because you lose your identity, isn't it? Who wants to lose their individuality in that loving relation? When we reawaken our love for God, there's such transcendental happiness, anandam bodhivardhanam, that oceans and oceans, we forgot that love that we gave up millions of lifetimes ago. We forgot. But that's we've been searching for life after life. And that is there. Once we revive our love for God, we'll realize even impersonal liberation, which persons consider the ultimate, becomes hellish. This verse goes on. It says, Tridasapur Akasha Pushpayate. Tridasapur means all the different demigods and their planets, heavenly planets. Tridasapur, 33 million, I think, different. That's Tridasapur. Like so many, if you don't come in touch with the pure devotee, you don't get that knowledge. You think there's something material we can make us happy. So let's go to the heavens. Let's go to Brahmaloka, Indraloka. Let's go to, Siddhaloka. Siddhaloka, you're born with all the cities, the 8 mystic cities, right? The yoga cities, you can become lighter than the lightest. There's the 8 cities, and what's some other cities people strive for?
The 8 mystic
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah.
Being smaller than the smallest, being
Smallest.
larger than those, being able to control someone's mind.
Right.
Yeah.
You go in the bank and you just, they give you all the money, it's a city, you control their mind. There's the 8th one, Prapti City. Srila Prabhupada had experience of that. One of his teachers had relayed the story. Prapti City, you can reach out. Somebody asked for pomegranates from Kabur. They're supposed to be the most relishable. And so he said, well, go ahead, they're in the next room. And they were there freshly picked. So that's Prapti City. You can reach out and grab something anywhere and you have it. So there's 8 different mystic cities. And this is by getting in somewhere in the heavenly planet. Siddhaloka has those. But if you get the mercy of the pure devotee and Mahaprabhu, this is the verse says, Tridasapur Akasha Pushpayate. All the heavenly planets, Akasha Pushpayate, become like, it says a flower in the sky, just like, not significant, just not tangible. They don't care. The ones get some mercy.
Phantasmagoria.
Phantasmagoria, right? Who cares for that? Once you come in touch with the pure devotee and start to purify our hearts, you realize there's nothing in this world for us. So that's the second part of that verse. Dordan Tendriya, Kala Sarpa Patali, Prokata Dongstrayate. The poisonous fangs of the untamable black snakes of the senses become broken. This is another thing. So first, impersonal liberation appears hellish, and the heavenly planets, all the pleasures up there, Phantasmagoria, who cares for them? And our senses, which are like snakes, leading us to hell. That's what you say in that prayer, Sayara Vijaya. The senses are networks of paths leading to death. So they're driving us to the lower species and into another life, birth after birth. The senses, by the mercy of pure devotee, become broken, just like the teeth of the poisonous snakes. If they have no teeth, no poison, they're not harmful anymore. So that's another benefit of getting Mahaprabhu's mercy. Then Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Vishwam, the universe, Purna Sukhayate, becomes full of happiness. The devotee is filled with joy every step of life, just like there's some quote, I was listening on the New Year's Day. Prabhupada gave a talk, he said, every day is New Year's for the devotee. Every day is New Year's. New life, ever fresh, right? You never get tired of devotional service. And that's a symptom of one advancing in Krishna consciousness, that they'll always feel happiness. There should be, of course, there's ups and downs, but it's always going up, or up and down. If you have up and downs, it'll keep going up. Becomes more and more. This is the cleansing the heart, right? Chaita Darpana Marjana. We're cleansing the heart, and Krishna is ever fresh. And so, one advancing devotional service. This is another thing. Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate. The whole universe becomes filled with happiness. Just like the pure devotees, they don't care. Mahaprabhu says, Mama Janmini Janmini Ishwari. Birth after birth, all I want is a devotional service. They don't even care to go back to Godhead, the pure devotees. That's why we sing Guru Pushpurs. He is my Lord, birth after birth. So when we become completely pure, you're already with Krishna. It's like it says in the beginning chapter, so there's a talk with what woman Dora was talking to Uddhava in the beginning of the 3rd canto. Uddhava was remembering Krishna, and he was gone. He was up with Krishna in Goloka, and then he came back. So the pure devotees, they appear to be in this material world, but they're transcendental. They're actually direct touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is Vishwam Punam Sukhayate. The next thing is Vidi Mahendradis Cha Kitayate. Vidi is, let's see what that is. I think that's Lord Brahma. Vidi is Lord Brahma. Mahendra, Lord Indra. Adi, the demigods. Kitayate, become like tiny insects. You have no more importance to, of course, we respect the demigods, especially if they're great devotees. But to have that post, it's not significant anymore. Vidi Mahendradis Chakatayate. Yat Karuna Kataksha Bhaya Bhagavatam Tam Goram Evastama. This is This is by the sidelong kataksha, sidelong glance of mercy. Those get the power if you get the mercy from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his confidential pure devotees. These things become manifest in our beings as we progress in Krishna consciousness. It's a wonderful process. And this also is really nice. Prabhupada says, the translation says, such activities are so nicely arranged in writing by the greatly learned sages that the actual purpose of the ear is served just by being near them. So this is how wonderful it is, how Prabhupada has been empowered to translate these books. They're so easy to understand and to read. It's not like so scholarly that only a scholar can understand them, but any person, it's perfectly edited, and he was completely empowered to translate these literatures. And the Vaishnava is beyond the four defects. The pure devotee has no defects. You know, what are anyone know some of the four defects of the human being?
Imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses.
Tendency to cheat.
Tendency to cheat, yeah, cheating propensity, imperfect senses,
Propensity to be illusioned.
tend to be illusioned. And
Making mistakes.
to make mistakes. Is there any mistakes in Prabhupada's books? No. No mistakes,
I just wrote an article about that.
yes. No mistakes. If you see mistakes, you need a adjustment. You need a spiritual adjustment. Srila Prabhupada is beyond these four defects. He's coming from Goloka. There's one story, he was in Los Angeles and he called Upendra and Bhavananda to his room. And he was telling them that, yeah, this world is a horrible place. Krishna said, go and write those books. Krishna, Prabhupada was revealing what happened. They said, Prabhupada, oh, it's material world. He said, no, I'll take care of everything. You just go and write those books. So it's this so Srila Prabhupada was sent here by the Lord specifically to write these books. And he's completely we know he's the most confidential servant of Mahaprabhu just by seeing his activities. And if we think he has these four defects, it's very improper understanding. He's completely liberated sage, being dictated. He says every word. He goes into like a spiritual trance when he translates these books, and Krishna has given him every word put there. He's the pure Vaishnava. He's the external representative of the Lord. So this is another point made in this verse. And by hearing, we know in the material disease condition, because we're conditioned souls, the sugar candy. For one that has jaundice, the medicine is sugar candy and tastes bitter. One has jaundice, sweets taste bitter. So this is our position. The holy name, right? We're chanting every day, 16 rounds minimum, and it's a struggle to chant our rounds. As we become offenseless, then we'll understand Krishna is there in the name. Srimati Radharani, Lord Balaram, Lord Krishna are there in the holy names. Prabhupada gave a class talking about Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Nrsimhadev. He's saying, so Prahlad got the benediction of Lord Nrsimha, touched his head, right? Personally touched his head and blessed him. It's Prabhupada said, we can have the same benediction now, today. He said, what is that? Lord Nrsimhadev is not here, Krishna is not here. Prabhupada said, no, he's here. He says, Kali, what is it? Harinam, Kali, Nama Rupa, Krishna Avatar.
Declare Nama Krishna, Nama Avatar.
Right. Krishna has come in the holy name. He's here. He said, so you should always think like that. As soon as you chant Hare Krishna, you're touching Krishna with your tongue. He says, always think like that, then you get the same benediction as Prahlad Maharaj. So, just like Srila Prabhupada came and he installed different deities all over the world. It takes a pure devotee has to do that. They can't, Krishna just doesn't come. No one can just come and call Krishna, please come in the deity form. And, you need to be empowered. You need to have Krishna, because the pure devotee is, becomes subservient to his pure devotees. That's why Krishna doesn't give pure devotional service very easily, because he becomes submissive to the devotees. So Srila Prabhupada came and installed deities all around the world. And he said, do not think these deities are idols. It's Krishna directly. Krishna's coming so we can reciprocate with him and serve him, because we're in our conditioned state, we can't see spiritual, but we can see material items. So Krishna comes in so-called material form. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada installed the deities, he gives us Harinam. He installs Harinam on our tongues, and he empowers us to chant the holy name. So Krishna is there. We just have to follow the process of devotional service, the 10 kinds of offenses. And then we'll come to the stage where instead of struggling to chant our rounds, we won't have enough time. We'll always want to chant. If Krishna is there, Krishna is there. And it's just a matter of our realization. That's why it's such a simple process, but application becomes difficult because of our conditioning. What could be simpler? Prabhupada's given us the holy name. He's given us the diet. If you have some disease, you go to the qualified doctor. He says, follow this diet and do these things, and you'll get healed. So the most expert physician for our real disease, life, birth after birth, samsara in this material world, is Srila Prabhupada has come to cure us. And he says this, chant 16 rounds minimum, follow the rules and regulations, avoid the offenses. And he said, it's just like cleaning, just cleaning. It's just a matter of cleansing. Keep cleaning, keep cleaning, keep cleaning the heart every day, every day, every day. And gradually, our love for God will be awakened. We can do it even in this life, Srila Prabhupada said over and over. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati advised his disciples, don't wait for another life. Become determined that this life you can become fully Krishna conscious and revive your love for Krishna. And we're not on our own. Trinvatam Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana
Vijanta story and
Viduna. Krishna helps. Krishna's in there. He helps us. We're helpless. What can we do? Krishna says he's ability. He's ability in man. He's ability in all of us. So Krishna helps us. He says when he sees that one that's coming to him and wants to hear the words from the pure devotee, he wants to progress in Krishna consciousness. It's personal. Krishna is there watching every step we do, and he helps wash all the dirty things. So it's very encouraging if we have Krishna helping us. There's no excuse not to, except if we have some causeless unwillingness to serve, but still we can pray. Just like there's a morning walk in San Francisco, Prabhupada said, so you were chanting your rounds? And they say, sometimes we miss Srila Prabhupada. He said, oh, he says, well, just pray to Krishna. What's he say? He says, make these prayers to Krishna. Krishna, I'm so unqualified, most unqualified, most fallen. Please accept me. Please give me strength. He says, all these appeals should be made to the Lord on a daily basis. Every round, make this prayer. Please help me. I'm so fallen, so insignificant, so unqualified. I have no strength. I'm trying, my Lord, but I am failing. Please give me strength. Please help me. He says all these appeals should be made, and Krishna is all powerful. Krishna can do anything. He said just like the child, when he's learning to walk, he stumbles, he keeps stumbling. He doesn't just start one day and start to walk, right? He stumbles. He's always stumbling. So the parents come and they help him walk. So it's like that. Krishna will help us. He said Krishna will come and grab our hand and help us to progress in Krishna consciousness. So this is a great fortune for all of us. We've come in direct contact with Krishna. In direct contact. It's when you hear Srila Prabhupada speaking, when you're reading his books, you know, you get so much faith because you know Srila Prabhupada is there with Krishna and giving us these benedictions. He makes it sound so encouraging, so easy to become Krishna conscious. So we just have to constantly fill our ears, like it says here. The actual purpose of the ears serve just by being near them. So this is how we become near them, by chanting and by hearing. And this is how prescription, like we said about the doctor giving the prescription. This is the prescription before Prabhupada even landed in Boston. He wrote the poem and he quoted all that series of verses right from the Divinity and Divine Service, Srimad-Bhagavatam, first canto. And it started, Srimvita Swakata Krishna, Nasta Prayesho Bhadreshu, Nitram Bhagavata Sevya. It all starts with hearing and chanting. He said, please make my words empower me. I can deliver them. And this was the formula he wrote. By hearing and chanting, one becomes, progresses gradually more and more and more. So it's a scientific process that we have to pray for Srila Prabhupada's and the Acharyas and the Lord's help at every step to help us. How long should we go?
Oh, well, according to inspiration, I mean, if you want to focus here, if you want to go another 5, 10, 15 minutes, according to your
Okay.
inspiration from Super Soul.
Okay. So that Rupa Goswami, he wrote a nice verse, Ado Shraddha, Tato Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. He goes through the stages of how we come to Krishna conscious. First, you all have experienced, you go to Dear Govinda's seminar and you start to hear about Krishna a little bit. Then there's a faith, you get a little faith. Oh, Shraddha, Ado Shraddha, get some faith. Tao Sadhu Sangha, start to associate with the devotees. Then you say, next thing, Bhajana Kriya. Yeah, oh, I'd like to engage in devotional service. It's making sense to me, you know, it sounds good. And so you start to do devotional service, however humble it may be. Ado Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya. Then what happens next? Narta Nivritisha. Anartas, all the anartas start to go away. These anartas have been accumulated life after life. Millions of births we've been here. And so these anarta nivriti, they start to be washed away. Again, Krishna is helping us to wash these away. And after that, you start to wash away your anartas. We first come, we don't know, is this real? Is Krishna real? And, you get a little faith, then After an equanimity, you start to enter into nista, which is firm faith, right?
Steady,
Steady,
steady for
Yeah.
me.
Steady. right? Nista, so we enter into nista. It doesn't happen, it's not black and white, you go gradually
Yeah.
from an equanimity and you start to enter nista. After nista is ruchi, right? Ruchi, you get a taste, you start to get a taste awakens. Once we get a little taste, really start to relish Srimad-Bhagavatam and start to like to chant, right? We like to hear and chant. It becomes more, so it's a gradual process, ruchi and then shanti,
Shaktis,
shantis.
increase the spiritual attachment.
Attachment, become attached. And then
Tato Bhava.
Bhava, yeah,
Higher esoteric
Prema,
stages
yeah, right.
above and prema.
Right. That's the process, so wonderful. It's not just hearing chant. Prita Maharaj, the great king, incarnation of Krishna, from churning King Vena's body, right? Prithu came, Maharaj Prithu and his consort, and he was a great king millions of years ago on the earth, and the Lord appeared to him and said, "What benediction can I give you?" And he got any benediction in the world. Krishna right there asking him, he says, "I just want to hear from your pure devotees." He says, "That's my benediction. Please let me immerse myself in the words of your pure devotees." So we have this benediction every day. All we have to do is put on Srila Prabhupada lecture, or open his books, right, and put on his bhajans. This is the highest benediction one can ever get. Well, and one other thing I'll add before ending is nice verse from Prahlad Maharaj. Prabhupada quotes so many times in his talks and books. Naivod Vijay Paradaratra Vitaranas Tadvirya Gayana Mahamita. This is when Lord Nrsimha asked him for a benediction. He said, "I don't need any benediction, my Lord." He says, "I'm quite happy." He said, "Because whenever I chant your holy name, I immediately merge into the ocean of nectar. Tadvirya Gayana Maha Amrita, great nectar when I chant your holy name." So all he was concerned about is the poor conditioned souls in the material world, thinking they're happy and struggling with the senses and, accepting this Maya world as the ultimate goal of life, and then approaching to death, waiting for death. So he's concerned for them. So the pure devotee has no hankering except how to deliver the conditioned souls. And who can exemplify that compassion more than Srila Prabhupada, who he gave everything just to come and to teach us fallen souls, such degraded souls in this age of Kali, living on the Bowery, stepping over bums and drunkards and being attacked. He had to leave his loft one time, called Mukunda, Michael Grant, "Please, I need a place. I'm thinking my life's in danger. He's living with a drug addict or something." He's pure devotee coming from Vrindavan. He's tolerating all these things, and so much he had to tolerate, even spreading Krishna consciousness, different disappointments with his followers, leaving and taking him for granted and not understanding his position, and so many things he had to tolerate. So that's the ocean of mercy that a pure devotee is, and that's our Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master. So can end on that note. If there's any comments or questions, or thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. I did have a question. Somewhere near the beginning of class, you said something like Krishna doesn't give he doesn't award us pure devotional service so easily. because he's subdued by that. Can you say that again?
Yeah.
Or speak
Oh,
more
right,
to
yeah. Krishna will give, because Krishna gives himself to the pure devotees, he becomes submissive. There's that one verse, it says, Lord Brahma's verse, Jnana Prayasam Udapastyanamanta Eva. Yeah, Jivan, says you can conquer the unconquerable. Krishna is unconquerable. And he doesn't like to, he likes, we're actually as parts and parcels, but it's, he wants us, of course, he wants to become submissive to his devotees. He's such a wonderful, he's the dearmost friend, right? Suridam Sarvabhutam, he's the dearmost friend of all of us. He's our father. And we left him, we gave him up, but I guess he wants to really make sure that we're serious to go back to Godhead. And because everyone in this material world, you know, we've turned our backs on him for millions of years, millions of births. And when he gives pure devotional service, we hear the stories, we read the Srimad-Bhagavatam, Krishna book, how Krishna is completely submissive to his devotees. He like there's a story, Sudama, Sudama came with some few grains of chipped rice to see Krishna. And Krishna said, "Oh, this is the most valuable stuff. Thank you so much." And he started to eat it. And I think many checked him. And then he sat him down in his bed and washed his feet. You know, he's this poor Brahmin coming in. And then the people were like amazed. Well, what's, you know, the Lord doing? You know, he's the supreme person I got it. But here he is doing menial service to his pure devotee. So Krishna's waiting for that. I guess it's just the one, can you comment on that? Why Krishna is not so anxious to give himself?
I appreciate your comment.
Yeah.
I'd simply emphasize the principles you're describing, and that yeah, I mean, my Srilupa Goswami said, yeah, so the price of the ticket back to Godhead, which is synonymous with the consciousness of pure devotional service, is simply intense greed, intense greed.
Mm.
So this is the matchless gift. And so the Krishna makes that very hard, that this is the most valuable thing we can ever imagine or hope for. So Krishna's, you can say test, but it's like like Krishna wants to see that like we intensely, ardently want nothing except to please Krishna and serve Krishna and serve as pure devotee. That's kind of my understanding of that. I mean, it's real. It's also like a literary kind of way to express it, that Krishna's
Right.
wanting to see how much like that's what I want. I don't want anything else. And I mean, the general principle, whether we want something material or like the impersonal liberation, yeah, it's worse than hell for a devotee. Whereas impersonal liberation is actually quite nice in the sense there's freedom from material misery.
Yeah.
But a devotee would much rather be in hell as long as I get to serve Krishna. But in the oneness, we kind of, it's artificial, but we kind of have a sense of losing our identity, and then we don't get to render personal loving service. So that's hellish for a devotee. Muktir Swayam Mukulitanjali Savior Tasman, the devotee describes that the devotee just wants devotional service. Liberation is standing at the devotee's doorstep. How can I serve you?
Right.
The same liberation that the yogis aspire for, the jnanis aspire for. So I'm seeing it that, yeah, this is just like the most precious gift and nothing compares to it. And so, yeah, and as you said, so yeah, so Krishna says like about his devotees at Vrindavan, he says like, I cannot repay my debt to you. Your payment is simply the joy you get from serving. Like, so Krishna feels so indebted, so he's not going to lightly just, here's your devotional service.
Oh,
He
right.
wants that we ardently want that. That's my understanding.
Right. And there's another verse come to mind, I think maybe Bill among the top where he says, my dear Lord, the Supreme Person of Godhead, due to, let's see. Is that,
The Dhruva Maharaj verse?
no, it's the one that my transcendental, now that I have seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Now being situated in that ocean, I now consider all other so-called happiness, including kaivalya, to be no more than water in the hoof print of a calf. So he compared impersonal Brahman happiness to be like a little puddle compared to the ocean. So what do you prefer, a little puddle of water or the whole ocean? It's like, in one of the songs, Prabhupada gives a purport that we're searching, we've been cut off from our love for Krishna. But like the desert, right? The desert is thirsty, right? The desert's thirsty, right? Needs water. So if you put a few drops of water on the desert, what's that gonna do? Desert needs oceans of water, right, to satisfy thirst. That's what we need. So we need oceans of love to satisfy that craving. And anything in this material world, including kaivalya, you just put a few drops. That's the analogy that one of the devotees gives in the song. So,
Okay.
any other comments and questions? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu.
Anything else?
Anybody online? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Tejaprakash,
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.